All right, team. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. So we got some news here. It looks like they're gonna be releasing CPI next week. Officials are recalling the furloughed Bureau of Labor Statistic workers to complete and release the September CPI despite the shutdown. And that's good news. At least we'll have the CPI next week. I'm assuming they're going to release PPI inflation data as well, the producer prices. Also, yeah, so the Bureau of Labor Statistics recalling furloughed inflation staff so that the September CPI report can still be produced, originally scheduled for the 15th. That release date is now in question. If the shutdown drags on, it might be delayed. One of the major motivations for preserving this is the SSA, the Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, needs the inflation data from Q3 to finalize COLA law. Even if the shutdown ends soon, there's likely going to be a backlog of data that could push the CPI publication. So maybe it's just CPI. Yeah, I'm seeing this report by Reuters. All right. Yeah, gold all the way back to 4,000, 4,014. NASDAQ did rip up. Look at how well these levels we drew yesterday were following. Look at, we stop at 250, 275, 300. Like, we followed these levels really well this morning. Nvidia all the way up to close to all-time highs at 194 basically right now. All-time highs are at 195.30s. AMD back to the lower 230s this morning a little bit as well. In terms of other economic reports, Nvidia up 0.6% pre-market. Cantor Fitzgerald lifted its price target at 300, citing AI strength. Delta had earnings yesterday, did pretty well. Strong Q3 results beat expectations. Stock is up 6%. Applied Digital had earnings yesterday, and they flew. Look at Applied Digital, up 36.50 from 28. So they're up nice, 25%. They had a new lease deal with CoreWeave as well. A couple other companies that reported earnings. USDA CFTC crop and export data has been suspended, leaving farmers and commodity traders, quote, flying blind as harvest season proceeds. Over 650,000 Fed employees received a reduced paycheck covering up to September 30th. Back pay is no longer guaranteed as well there. And again, the government shutdown persists. Senate deadlock is here, and the consensus yet is that the Senate has been yet to end the shutdown. Republicans are pushing their clean continuing resolution. Dems insist on including ACA subsidies. And yeah, they're basically deadlocked. Nobody's agreeing on anything. The NASDAQ is slightly green today, slightly green. As is, I believe, the S&P 500. Yeah, the S&P 500 is slightly green. What's up, Smart, Alan, Julie, Marco, Fox, RZ, Trey, Sandy, Brian, Chase, Ava, Ray, Keegan. What's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah, silver broke or got really close to $50 an ounce yesterday. Starting to head back up there now. Gold coming all the way back down. It was at like 4,070 yesterday, 4,080s. It's now down to 4,010s. It actually dipped below 4,000 a little bit this morning. If you look at it, gold dipped under 4,000 for a little while. So the question now is, does gold hold? I'm not sure. Occidental Petroleum says Q3 average released oil prices worldwide was $64.78 BBL. Q3 average realized NGL price worldwide was about 19.6 BBL. Yeah, spot price might. I'm looking at futures, but yeah, $50. So the Fed chair finalist is likely going to be nominated as governor first, according to CNBC. It's been narrowed. The list has been narrowed down to 5. Bowman, Waller, Hassett, Walsh, and Ryder are now the 5, and they're now the 5. Who do I think they're going to pick? I think it's either going to be Waller or Hassett, personally. Who do you think they're going to make new Fed chair? Yeah, Nasdaq's been on a little run though since about 5 a.m. It's been going here. 6 o'clock market time. Look at the Nasdaq. It's been bouncing. What's up, Juan? Yeah, we got Michigan consumer sentiment today. Maybe it'll have more influence over markets, just considering we don't have any other data to really do. You think it'll rally back up and test all-time highs? I don't know. All-time highs for gold are up there, man. Like, it could, but that's a long way up at this point in time. Like, it fell all the way from 4,080s down to 4,000. So it would have to basically run up almost $100 to get back up there per ounce. And I'm not saying it can't do that. It's just a little bit less likely, I think. Now, I mean, I think it could happen, certainly, but I think it's a little less likely at this point. Bullish for a Friday. Yeah, markets are up pretty significantly here for a Friday. Well, we got some FOMC, or some Fed members, I should say, speaking today. Goolsbee speaks at 9:45. We got consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. But those are hours away. We'll put a timer up as we get closer to those. Hit the like button. Yeah, dump is always possible on a Friday, bro. I mean, it's less likely. I think it's more likely we chop today, personally, unless Michigan data moves the market significantly here. What's up, Bear? Hey, good morning. Bro, I want out of this boot they got me on, dude. I'm asking AI all the time. I'm like, when can I take this stupid boot off? I don't mind the brace. It goes all the way from my upper thighs all the way down to my ankle, though. This brace is literally like, this is a brace. But the boot is what I hate. I don't like the boot at all. What's up, Arif? Yeah, let me do a poll. Do you guys want to buy or sell right now? How about, will this Friday, will today be will today be a bullish or bearish day? Vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. There's the poll right there. I mean, generally there's a difference between spot and futures. You see it with Bitcoin a lot. A lot of the time I'll look at Bitcoin, and taking a look at it here, Bitcoin's been consolidating, but there's always arbitrage. Some people take advantage of this through arbitrage, where they will essentially buy Bitcoin on one, send it to another, and then make a little bit, because whichever platform they sent it to has a little bit higher price for Bitcoin. And some people just do that over and over again, for Bitcoin specifically. Now, in terms of futures and spot, there's always going to be a little bit of differences between futures and spot. Sometimes those differences are larger, like silver. Sometimes they're tighter, but generally you're going to have differences in spot versus futures. Should I buy this pullback to 25.3? If we take a look at yields this morning here, see where interest rate sentiment is. Yields are down. Yields are pretty much flat, but they haven't spiked. So yields 4.109% right now for 10-year treasuries. They did spike earlier yesterday, so yields actually went up a little bit yesterday, but they kind of faded back down, and now they're right here. So yields are back down a little bit today. Again, it's pretty likely we're going to cut rates next month, I think. Now, they are going to release the inflation data, though. CPI inflation specifically. It was supposed to come out on Wednesday next week. Yeah, I'm not really talking about futures versus spot. I started to talk about it and then realized it wasn't relevant. The arbitrage people take is between brokers with spot crypto, is what it actually is. With futures, there's not really much arbitrage because it's not the same thing you're sending over. You can't really send over like crypto futures or, you know, and so yeah, you're right. You're right. I was wrong to even start that. And again, it's what I was really talking about is arbitrage people do with cryptocurrency. You know, Bitcoin, like an example is like if they have Bitcoin at, let me look at it right now. Let's say one platform's got Bitcoin at 123, another one has it at 122.7. They'll send it over, pocket the $300 minus fees, and, you know, do it that way. Green, we profit. Red, we return. Every trade a chance to learn. That's right, B. Good morning. It's Friday. We don't have any jobs data still. You talking about CGC? Fox? Starting to go up with cannabis sympathy. It's at 162s. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, I don't know, man. It's not really down that much. I mean, it hit 580s. It had the news. Tesla almost always is buy the rumor, sell the news. It really is. I mean, sometimes it's not. Delivery numbers pumped it up a little bit, and so it's not always that case. But I think anytime you got a big event, announcement for a new vehicle or something like that, with Tesla, it's almost always buy the rumor, sell the news. So it almost always goes up in anticipation and then drops afterwards. We see that dynamic a lot with Tesla. Yeah, arbitrage, you can profit from it. It can be really profitable. Bearish, but I invest like an absolute bull. Meta's interesting. I think Meta's up a lot over the last few years. You know, just to put this into perspective, Meta in 2022 was $91 a share. $91 a share in Meta in 2022. I remember because I was skeptical of it. I thought it might fail. Dropping all the way down under $100 a share. Meta today is $733 a share. So Meta is up a lot. Now it doesn't mean it's not going to keep going up. It's getting involved with like smart glasses. You know, they kind of turned Facebook around a little bit. It's now kind of like a marketplace slash Reels, kind of like an Instagram marketplace kind of thing. And so they did kind of turn that around. They've got Oculus and VR. And so I'm optimistic. And then with AI, they look good. But, you know, they're just up so much. Doesn't mean they're not going to hold. But it's not my favorite stock to buy personally right now because of that. And again, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable, you know. But yeah, not my favorite stock to buy. I was thinking about buying the NASDAQ right here. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all can hear me. AMD is interesting too, man. AMD's been flying. If you look at a 4-hour chart on AMD, AMD has been on a run after the announcement for AMD getting involved with OpenAI. Look at our poll. 64% say bullish, 36% say bearish. NASDAQ up. AMD breaking all-time highs quick. Yeah, just be careful. You know, a lot of stuff's up big. Today we do have Michigan consumer sentiment data. Not the most accurate data, if I'm being honest. Jobless. JP Morgan estimates weekly jobless claims rose to 234,000 in the week ending October 4th, which would have been this Thursday's report, up from 224,000. This rise is partly tied to shutdown-related layoffs and furloughs. Again, analysts are now estimating Q3 earnings growth for S&P 500 firms is around 8.8% year-over-year, which is slower than prior quarters. Tariffs and supply chain costs weighing, even as AI spending gives some upside. And again, everybody's worried about a bubble right now. Tech and AI optimism is pushing valuations higher. IMF, JP Morgan, and Goldman have all flagged elevated risks of a correction given multiple stretched, valuations. And again, this is what we talked about yesterday. Are we in a bubble right now? I don't know. We definitely see some signs of it. Doesn't mean we're not going to continue up, though. Yesterday, I asked people, we did a poll. We got a bunch of votes, too. We asked people, do you guys think we're in a bubble right now? And I think it was like 65-35. Yes. So. $200? Yeah. I don't know if I thought it would be a sell at the open yesterday. I really didn't know what it would do. I thought it was close enough to all-time highs where it could make a run up. But it's too risky, I think is what I said. For me. Like, I'm not going to try to take something at all-time highs. I might try to attack the range up to it, but... maybe I did say, I don't know. I think AI on long run, not profitable on CapEx. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, bubbles can last years. And everything's at all-time highs, including, what, the NASDAQ. What's the NASDAQ all-time highs? It's pretty close to it. 25,394, just under 25.4 is the new all-time highs in the NQ. So really, this is the all-time highs on the NASDAQ. So we're pretty close. I mean, we could certainly make that run up there. Doesn't mean we will, but we could. Again, NVIDIA sitting pretty close to all-time highs as well. NVIDIA at 193.80s, all-time high is 195.30s. So NVIDIA all-time high is here. No. Wait. 195.30. So yeah, NVIDIA all-time high is right here. So here's NVIDIA all-time highs right there. So we're pretty close. I mean, we're pretty close to all this stuff. And that's the question. Is this tech start to run today? Levi? I don't know. Fashion company, not really my favorite companies to mess with. Down from earnings, down to 23 from 25. They've got a market, but some would argue their market's shrinking. Yeah, Apple. Less influenced by AI, but it's been on a run too. Apple's been flat though since September. So Like if you look at Apple and you put up like a 4-hour chart, or maybe, yeah, you put up a 4-hour chart on Apple, look at the range we've been in since September 22nd for Apple. Apple's been basically flat for almost a month, 20 days. I'm curious to see when it breaks out of this range, because it's been in this range for a minute now. Bitcoin sideways consolidating. I'm not sure what it's going to do now. Could be picking up steam for another test of all-time high since it's so close. Been consolidating for a few days. Yeah, the VIX is still at 16s. So slightly elevated from like 15, 14s, but not the highest. We'll see if the market starts pulling back. Yeah, APP went on a huge run from... APP is up 100% since July. Even right now, you know, at 600, it's up 100%. So it's up big. We had Applied Digital earnings. Applied Digital was up pretty big right now. They're up like 25% or something like that. 37s for APLD from earnings yesterday. MU price. Yeah, I mean, MU is interesting. Maybe an unrepresented. It's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get... Everybody's waiting. Ouch, my knee. Yeah, so the BLS is under a shutdown plan. Such collection as data processing operations stops. Suspend operation, not publish data. October 3rd. Payroll release. Yeah, remember, we don't have NFP today. Bull market for the next 10 years? I don't know, man. Maybe. What do you think of Verizon's price currently? I mean, I think I talked about this yesterday. I'm not really interested in buying up Verizon. Even with these, like, discount prices, it's still a little bit too sketchy for me to buy it up. I think it pays a high dividend, but I'm not really interested in buying this company. Too much risk with carriers. They're going to lose margins to streaming, and they probably already have. Prepaid, they're going to lose margins there. I'm just not really... It's not really my favorite buy right now. Yeah, I mean, gold all the way down to 4,000. Went all the way under 4,000. Went down to 39.60s early this morning. So now it's back over 4,000. Let's see if it actually holds 4,000. I think a lot of people are watching 4,000 on gold right now, gold futures. Yeah, I mean, most people recognize that, you know. Waller said the CPI data will help a lot in the coming meeting. ADP data is consistent with where the BLS data was heading towards negative job growth. and that pieces of data are telling the same story now that the labor market is not doing great. There have been shutdowns before. There's a lot of private sector data to rely on. And the interview for the Fed chair was great. There was nothing political about it. It was all serious economics. Waller said, "I don't know if I am Fed chair finalist or not," in CNBC. So, again, Waller basically saying we have private data releases. ADP data came out. The ADP data showed negative numbers, right? In the last employment report. The September report for ADP non-farm employment showed negative 32,000 jobs. Here was the last payroll report. This is what you see Waller referencing here is this. 32,000 negative jobs. ADP is pretty accurate. At least it has been. Yeah, we got Michigan data, Canadian unemployment data at 8:30. We got some stuff going live, but again, we are on a data pause. All right, NASDAQ did bounce a little bit. I kind of want to buy the dip, but I don't know, man. I guess I'll just wait. Video wants to pop up. Yeah, if we look at NVIDIA here, I kind of want to buy this dip, but also a little sketched out. I'll try. Maybe we'll attack a range here. Like 3 here. What happens? Very small. Only reason I like this is because we got the 300 level underneath this. I can use as a risk level. There we go. We're gonna take 1 off up there. Pretty close. Get filled. There's 1. Go. Take another 1 off at the top, and then we'll sit on the rest. Trying to look for a little range here. All right, we're out. A little green day. I mean, we got the bounce right there, the 200 exponential, just a really tight risk reward. Get NVIDIA up to 193s. It is Friday, though, chat, so just be careful. Again, we did have Governor Waller say he does not know if he is a Fed chair finalist. He said the interview was great. More details, he said, there's a very clear correlation between the size of the tariffs and the price of goods, a roughly 40% pass through. There's no evidence of a wage price spiral undercutting the risk of second round effects, and the labor market is not tight in any way. Negative job growth means the U.S. is not at maximum employment, and if inflation comes up and comes back down, it should not influence monetary policy. Tariffs will have a one-time impact on prices, and CPI data will help a lot in the coming meeting. Again, just to give you another... Well, he's on CNBC right now. He said the interview with the Fed chair was great. There have been shutdowns before. There's a lot of private sector data to rely on. ADP data is consistent with where BLS data was heading towards negative job growth. And pieces of data are telling the same story that the labor market is not doing great. Waller. Do you guys agree with Waller here? Will Tesla destroy AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile? Probably not. Satellite is good, but it's still not going to be able to compete with like fiber or even like coax cables. internet. You know, eventually, really, like, it's good if you're traveling and you need internet where you're going, but it's not really going to be able to compete with wired internet. Now, I still think those companies are going to lose money over time just because streaming's taken over. But well, they had an update here on the BLS news. So we did have an update on the CPI data for next week. When I go to the BLSgov.site, last update was October 1st. Yeah, okay, so this is the news we see here. Oh, bro, get out of here, New York Times. Okay, so the inflation report is going to get released, bro. The New York Times. Bro, what's with all these sites? They're trying to talk you into buying it. Hold on. I could just paste the URL into AI and it'll summarize it for me without this. But what I saw here is that it's looking like they think the report is now going to be released towards the end of this month for the CPI inflation report, as long as the government doesn't get resumed prior to that. But yeah, they're basically prepping a delayed inflation report. New York Times first reported BLS is unpausing work on CPI, which measures the price of goods and services across the nation. CPI was supposed to be released next week on October 15th, which would be Wednesday next week. It's now unlikely to make that deadline. The goal is now to get the numbers out in time so that COLA announcement isn't delayed. It's also looking like the Fed will have the numbers in time for its next meeting, one of the many data inputs they need to consider in making rate decisions. They said the data behind CPI had just finished being collected when the shutdown began on October 1st. The former commissioner of the BLS, Erica Grosjean, said that who was familiar with the process. But yeah, they're basically... And this is what I talked about yesterday, the day before. Like, they say they're furloughing non-essentials. You would assume the people releasing the freaking data that the Federal Reserve needs to guide it would be considered essential, right? So I don't know why they're not releasing the data. I don't know why they're furloughing people that would release the data. And I don't know why they're deeming them non-essential. I don't think that makes any sense. Like, they seem to be pretty essential. We need to know where we're going for the labor market, for inflation data. Maybe I'm biased because I want us to release the data because I haven't had as much to talk about since the government shut down. But yeah. The reason they're doing it, the law requires Social Security admin to calculate the cost of living adjustments using CPI from the third quarter and publish the information about that before November 1st. And so they need it for the COLA situation. For Social Security benefit analysis, essentially, is what they're saying. Pretty sure Starlink reference was to them developing direct-to-cell service. Yeah, no, they might be. Again, I don't know. I'm not really bullish in the conventional telecommunications companies, personally. Data still being collected, reports being made, just not releasing it. Yeah, again, I think we're going to get releases for CPI if the government stays shut down towards the end of the month. Ooh. Nasdaq still bouncing up. We got a couple good trades. So yeah, there's talk of a vote in the Senate to try again on funding, reopening the government today. They're floating the idea of guaranteeing pay for Fed employees who are working during the shutdown. It rejected stopgap bill funding 7 times. If they do vote today. Yeah, gold hit 4,000 even just now. Look at that gold bounce at 4,000 even. USAR is a funny one because my friend wanted to buy this. Is it up to 33s today? My friend's going to get mad at me, even though I never even told him not to buy it. I just told him I didn't know. I told him I didn't know when it was up a lot and it moves a lot and the float's smaller. And so I don't know what this one's going to go do. It could go up big or down big. But man, this thing is proving me that the rumors that my friend heard were correct. This thing flew up. It's up well over 100%. Every day you are so negative? I don't think I'm super negative. I would say I'm the top 3 most optimistic person in the world. I think if anything, I tell people that we have signs of a bubble, but it doesn't mean we're going to hold and that the biggest statistical edge is on the upside. Because that's what it is. I'm not telling anybody to buy right now. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. Again, understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'd say I'm the top 3 least negative person out here, you know? Yeah, he's probably just trolling, so that's okay, you know. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know, bro. My friend talked about it. Honestly, again, in most of the time, what I told my friend, and I talked about this yesterday, what I told my friend was that a lot of the time this can be buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Where people outside of finance are hearing about it, it might be too late. USAR was not that. USAR, they heard rumblings. Like, I would say they called me about this mid-September when it was at like 13, 14, 15s. And they were right. And again, I told them I didn't know. It's big risk, big reward is what I told them. And big reward was right. This thing's up to almost $35 a share right now from 13s, 14s. USAR is the symbol. Again, a company I didn't know anything about. But rare earth company. He's not negative. He just, right. I mean, I think Oz gets it. I would rather set the bar low and outperform that low expectation versus bragging like I'm the greatest ever. Top 3 ever. You know, definitely top 3 ever. But, you know. My big thing is, like, I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way. So I always tell people I don't know what something's going to do. I might say I like it or I don't like it or I don't really want to buy it right now. I'm very rarely shorting anything. Yeah, gold bounced exactly at 4,000. Most things are slightly green today, though. Slightly green. Bro, ChatGPT is just wildly wrong. ChatGPT says today is day 13 of the shutdown. No, it's not. Gold's still over $4,000 an ounce. Again, 10-year yield slightly lower on rate cut expectations. Again, Nvidia price target was raised by Cantor Fitzgerald. Delta Airlines had strong Q3 earnings. Levi beat estimates but had bad guidance. Applied Digital up 25% with a CoreWeave deal. Very flat though over the last few minutes. I mean, we're bouncing right here around this level here. I'm watching gold as well though. You use a lot of logic and data. You don't shill garbage. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. What's up, Sam? Time for QT? Nah, we're not. I mean, we're already doing quantitative tightening. We're doing a reduced QT on treasuries, and we're still doing full MBS QT. So we're still doing tightening. Rumblings about when they're going to stop the tightening. When do you guys think they're going to stop doing QT on everything and pivot to neutral? I don't think we should do QE either. I think we should just go neutral if we really want to do something dovish but not spike inflation. I think we should go neutral. I gotta kind of shame AI right now. Today is October 10th. Shutdown started October 1st. It says exactly, you know? And then it just acts like it never said it. Okay. I expect you to apologize, AI. You got it wrong. Say, hey, I'm sorry. You're right. You know? That makes today day 10. The longest since 2019's 35-day standoff. Well, yeah, there hasn't been a shutdown since 2019's. Yeah, so lawmakers are expected to hold another round of votes today on Friday on competing plans to reopen the government. Again, the Dems want funding that includes ACA premium subsidies. The right wants a clean continuing resolution to fund the government through November 21st. So far, neither has reached 60 votes. House remains on standby until the Senate gets this figured out. 650,000 Fed employees missed full paychecks today. Back pay isn't guaranteed under the current proposals we have. This will start to influence consumer spending data, though. Again, NFP data is not getting released. Operations are suspended. CPI data might get released on time. Probably not, but might get released on time. PPI wholesale inflation data is going to be most likely delayed next week. Again, gold's still right around $4,000, and it's back close to that now. It's at 4,003. I'm watching AMD a lot today. Yeah, I'm going to say please and thank you to AI. We're gentlemen over here. AI needs to apologize if it's wrong. My GPT said 9 days. Today would make it day 10. A lot of the time, the big thing Chat GPT gets wrong is the day, right? So it for some reason, AI thinks it's the day before. Like when I woke up this morning, my Chat GPT thought today was Thursday. That's the biggest thing they get wrong, is they just typically think it's the day before. I have to be like, yo, it's Friday. Get it right. And then they're like, oh, okay. So that's usually the biggest issue. Look at GWH penny stock. Somebody mentioned it in chat. Look at this thing run. Penny stocks have been moving a little bit more lately. This thing's up 100% right now, basically. NASDAQ still bouncing back up here. Let's look at some levels. I'm watching like 350 here on the NQ. We've already gotten one quick trade done. I'm watching 350 right there. All-time highs are up here. NVIDIA all-time highs are getting pretty close as well. AMD's around those numbers too. 195.30, his NVIDIA all-time highs. We're close enough to that to make it relevant. Yeah. I don't know what kind of brand this is. Really have no idea. Diagram I put in Discord. I haven't even pulled up Discord yet. Sorry, Pawn. Juan usually helps send me the news. Paramount has its eyes on Warner Bros., but the big question is, how does it pay for it? China did launch enforcement of its controls on chip imports. The customs cracked down on NVIDIA AI chips. Delta stock still up. China deliveries for Tesla were up 2.82% year over year in PCA prelim data. They see 90,000 plus units. Yeah, I heard that the right was starting to crack with some of the failed votes. Also, China opened up an antitrust probe on Qcom. Yeah, so this diagram is basically showing how money's flowing from AI companies. You can kind of see NVIDIA is right there, dab in the middle. OpenAI is as well. But NVIDIA is, you know, kind of right there in the middle. So it's an interesting thing. NVIDIA is probably the safer AI company. If you don't want to pick a specific software, NVIDIA is getting used by mostly all of them. Yeah, Bitcoin's still down on the day, though, so it's still interesting. We're watching Bitcoin, but it's still down. Again, so China welcomes multinational firms to expand investment. Software rate 4.13%. China's Vice Premier He Lifeng met with executives from global companies. Waller also said, I do not see it as a big risk because of the equity, though some people may lose money. He sees more rate cuts, but says central bank needs to be cautious about it. He said that there's no evidence of a wage price spiral undercutting risks of second round effects. Very clear correlation between tariffs, price goods, and 40% pass through. He said either the labor market rebounds or GDP will weaken. That is where the caution comes in. JP Morgan also places Colgate on negative catalyst watch due to concerns over future performance. I mean, JP Morgan at 300 still. JP Morgan's been on a little bit of a dip. Hit 320 basically, 318s. Now it's back down at 305s. Still up a lot on the year though for banks. What's on teeth? What does that mean? Jobs are safe from AI. Yeah, AMD is one to watch today. AMD highs 244, market highs 240. Yeah, 240.10. This level right here, 240.10, is going to be the market hour. I mean, Google's been on a big run, though. Google opened the year off at 190s. It's at 250s right now. It's $60. So it's up like 30+% this year. So it's still up a lot. Oh, I got you, Tom. Again, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. All right, guys, looking at our poll, we did a poll. Is today bullish or bearish? 66% say bullish. 34% say bearish. What do you guys think? We got 25 minutes until 8:30. We got a little bit of data coming out. And again, the BLS is going to be releasing CPI, at least letting the Fed get it sometime this year. Or sometime this month, I mean. APP. It's been on a dip. It hit 750s. It's now at 600s. It's too volatile for me, though. If you look at APP, the longer term chart's kind of sketchy. It's under 600 now. I mean, it's on a dip, but yeah, let's take a look at how long they're pricing in the shutdown. It's been going up every single day. At this point, over 20 days, it's 64% likely. Over 64%. Over 25 days is over 50% at 51%. Over 30 days is 39%. NASDAQ still heading up here. Gold's still consolidating over 4,000, given some of the easiest bounces we've seen in it. Look at these bounces at 4K. Exactly at 4,000. And again, psychological levels, man. Big whole dollar numbers. How long can price action continue like this without getting any real numbers? I don't know. I mean, we got numbers, but it's not going to be... We got private data. A lot of the time, the private data is more accurate anyway. Like, ADP data is more accurate. Again, we're going to get CPI data at the very least at the end of this month. So we'll get some numbers. The big one we're missing is jobless claims and payrolls. Those two data releases showing us like a real-time look at the labor market are delayed for the shutdown. But we will be getting CPI data. We just won't be getting PPI inflation data. Elon Musk hires former Morgan Stanley banker Anthony Armstrong as CFO. He advised him in the $44 billion Twitter deal. AI gave me CPI data 2.4%. You sure you didn't just get that off of Trueflation? Mine got one right one time. Yeah, we'll get the Michigan data. Ouch, dude, my knee, man. Rocket Labs, gold is rising with everything else. Yeah, I mean, gold's rising with markets. Gold's benefiting from inflation. Worries with markets rising is what this is. Most of the time, gold moves with markets. NASDAQ up, close to all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, gold's moving up probably on rate cut expectations too. Lower yields makes gold a little bit more attractive because A lot of people see it as better than bonds. Equities benefit because money flows into it. Higher risk appetite. So in like a rate cut phase, gold and stocks can rally together. It's more about liquidity in markets. Nvidia up there though at 194s right now, trying to break the, is this highs of pre-market? Yeah, Nvidia at highs of pre-market right now, trying to break it right here. Look at this for Nvidia. So Nvidia's still edging higher here. It's very close. That's kind of why Nasdaq's rising. Oh yeah, I'm in the brace, bro. You want to see this brace? Look at this brace. Look at this brace. Ugh. Oh, I'm in it still. Trust me, I'm in this thing. Applied Digital, big jump after earnings. Yeah, they had a deal with CoreWeave for APLD. Yeah, FOMC, we're still going to get the meeting. The Fed is independent despite the name. The Federal Reserve is an independent entity from the federal government. So, we're still going to get the FOMC decision. Yeah, I'm looking at 350 on the NASDAQ, 300 underneath us. Yeah, we do have one Fed speaker today. We got Goolsbee speaking at 9:45. Building permits and housing start data. We got the JOLTS job report that showed 7.2 million for August. No, I didn't buy the dip on gold. Not day trading. My meniscus is torn, but the ortho said it looks like an old injury. So, that was good news. But my MCL is torn right now. That's where the brace comes in. I mean, we don't really have any breaking news right now. It's Friday. Rocket Lab signs a contract for 2 Electron launches. We had the China VP speaking with executives from global companies. Abbott, SK Group, Prudential PLC. We had Waller speak earlier this morning that said, essentially, there's risks to the labor market and that he doesn't know if he's going to get the Fed chair job. We had Applied Digital earnings and a deal with CoreWeave. It's up 25%. AMD, Nvidia around all-time highs. They did give us an update that we should be getting, that they are reversing the furlough on some of the CPI employees to get CPI released. Now, I doubt it's going to be released on the 15th like it's supposed to. I doubt it's going to be released on the 15th like it's supposed to. And so it's unlikely that we're going to get it next Wednesday, but they are going to release it sometime this month despite the government shutdown is what the rumors are now. So that's the news we got for that one now. Yeah, if we take a look at what the odds are for rates here. Still, these are unchanged. 95% likely we cut rates. 95 to 5% likely we cut rates 25 basis points. Now, if we do get CPI data ahead of this report, it might change this. But as of now, it's 95 to 5. So, yeah, as of now, they might change this. I don't know. We did bull or bear. Let's do another poll on when the shutdown ends here, chat. Let's ask, when does the government shutdown end? We got 20 days. We got before 20 days. After 20 days. After 30 days. $35 days plus. All right, so this is the poll. Vote. Let me know what you guys think. All right, there's the poll. Vote on it. When does the government shutdown end? In less than 20 days, 25 plus days, 30 plus days, 35 plus days. Yeah, we're waiting here. We're waiting here. What do you mean the reserves? Who pays the reserve salaries? Which reserves? All right, now we're dipping down a little bit. Look at gold, still up. Gold at 4,010s. Nvidia testing 194s. I'm watching the rest of tech today to see what they do. Quantum computing stocks in a bubble. I mean, they could be. PE ratios are high for quantum stocks for sure. But like the PE ratios are pretty freaking elevated. You know. I'm looking at the PE ratios for some of these companies now. Long-term potential of quantum is immense, though. They say it's estimated at $850 billion in global economic value by 2040. So that's about 15 years away. Rigetti. What's another? QBTS, Rigetti. What's some of the other quantum plays? Isn't QUBT? I know CoreWeave is AI. Yeah, so most quantum stocks are still losing money. Rigetti's got negative 57 to 64 negative for Rigetti. D-Wave is a little bit better at 18.7 to 32.48 negative. Both of those are negative numbers. So none of them are really making money yet. And so whether you think we're in a bubble for quantum is arguable for sure. Yeah, I got QUBT, QBTS. I didn't look at IONQ, but none of them are really making money, are they? Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft, I don't know. Are they quantum? And more AI play. Microsoft gets royalties from OpenAI, so they benefit from it. Although we don't always see that correlation in the stock. Gold coming back down to 4,000 maybe here. Palantir? Yeah, I mean, Palantir's interesting. But Palantir's PE ratio is wild. It's like, what, still hundreds. Alright, so Kalshi is raised 300 million at a $5 billion valuation. Citigroup is saying buy the dip in Oracle, sees it going up 40% from here. Oracle's been wild. And look at Oracle bump up on this. Oracle had this crazy move though. I don't know, man. I almost want to buy it right here though. It doesn't look terrible. It went up to 350 basically. Came all the way back down to 280s. Now it's back up to 300s. I'm not saying to buy it. I don't know for sure. But I think people are going to get more optimistic for something like this to happen if it gets closer. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I really don't know for sure. And sorry, I'm kind of have to like almost lay down on my chair today because of this brace. What if gold is in a bubble? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible it is. I don't know, I have to go check, Sam. Yeah, I mean, one thing that is pretty clear is that quantum is still very, very early. Quantum's still really early. It was still really early with quantum. And so what quantum ends up doing is still certainly questionable. I think super fragile right now, breaks a lot, you know. But the potential is huge, and that's why these companies are running up like they have been. If we get a dip down to the 200 exponential right here, I'd buy it, but I gotta wait for that dip. Not really interested in buying it. Will quantum kill crypto? At this point in time, no. But that might change. What speech? I mean, we got we got Fed members speaking most of this week. It's been a Fed member speaking week. We got Powell yesterday. We got Goolsby speaking at 9:45. Who's the Chicago Fed president? Yeah, I mean, Rami, I'm definitely not getting into any of that, bro. Data centers are probably set to benefit from all this stuff. AI. Wait, so if we get a 20-day shutdown, the market will keep pushing up? Not necessarily. Nothing's 100%. There's always variance, right? Market might keep pushing up. A lot of the time, historically, and we have to go by historicals, although nothing's guaranteed. History doesn't repeat itself, but it sometimes rhymes. So we can look at the last one and see the last one was buy the rumor, sell the news. We pushed down into the last shutdown, and then during the shutdown, markets ripped up. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to continue up right now. Markets are still testing all-time highs basically every other day or so. They broke all-time highs a few days ago. Gold has been pulling back this morning. Gold came all the way back down to 4,000 level, but it's been bouncing off of that for the last hour or two now. Yeah, Applied Digital up big on earnings and a CoreWeave deal, CRWV deal. They did really well. You're probably right, Straight Jacket. If they want a cure. All right, guys. Nasdaq started to come back down. Oracle is pushing up. Again, I'm curious about Oracle, but it's too risky for me, I still think, here. CoreWeave. Yeah, CoreWeave up to almost 150s. Broken out of the sideways range it was in. 187s is the all-time highest for CoreWeave. CoreWeave AI mostly, but it's moving. NASDAQ dipping down a little bit here. An IDF spokesperson says that we cannot coexist if things are not achieved through negotiations. We buy gold? I don't know, man. Gold is already over 4,000. The question is, does it make a test of 5,000? Which is another 20% gain. Or 5,000 would be a 25% gain, actually, from where it's at. So would we, are we going to make a test of 5,000 anytime soon? What do you guys think? Does gold test 5,000? We did a poll asking when the shutdown ends. 56% says less than 20 days. We're on day 10 right now, so we got 10 days left before we hit 20. A lot of people are arguing that they want to do it before the 15th, which is the deadline. And so maybe early next week, the shutdown is possible to end. Because I think both sides are going to have an incentive to end it before the 15th. But maybe not. I mean, we could certainly have a big sell-off in gold. I mean, that's just objectively true. Gold. The problem with gold, and I've said this once, I'll say it again. Gold uptrends, can uptrend for a long time. It can also downtrend for a long time. Let's take a look at gold here. Like, look, gold is right here. Okay, that's gold right there. If you look at gold historically, gold can uptrend for a long time, but it can also downtrend for a long time. Like, here's an example of this. Gold downtrended in this situation right here for 5 years. Gold went from 2,000, dropped 50% down to 1,000. You know, between 2011 and 2016. 5-year downtrend for gold. You can keep zooming here and look at more, right? Here's a situation where gold was mostly sideways, but actually downtrended about 25% from 2,000 down to 1,500. It's been running since then, essentially, but this is not the first time in history. I mean, if you look at gold, you got to zoom in a little bit more since the price changes. Right? Here's another example, though. In the early 90s, gold downtrended from 425 all the way down to 320 over a 3 or 4 year period. Oh, actually, it's longer than that. So yeah, from 88, gold downtrended from $500 in 88 all the way down to 1993. So that's another 5-year downtrend for gold. And so gold can certainly downtrend for a long time and uptrend for a long time. It's not one of those situations where gold's never going to go down. That's a very risky sentiment to have, I think. So gold can certainly move down. When will it is a different argument. I don't know. CPI is not coming out today. Yeah, we do not have CPI today. We also do not have anything today. We got Canadian data coming out, which probably is already out. Canadian data ended up showing unemployment at 7.1, slightly lower than expected for unemployment in Canada. Participation rate at 65.2%, slightly higher than last time. Unemployment change 60.4K versus 2.8K expected. A little bit better data for labor in Canada than expected. But outside of that, we got Michigan data at 10 o'clock today that we're going to cover for sure. So we got Michigan data coming out in about an hour and a half. Yeah, guys, again, what I would caution you guys to do, right? We got some people in here, and it's all love. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm going to preface this with you could be right. I don't know. But I would caution you guys to think about it. I don't think having having the sentiment of gold will never pull back big is the healthiest sentiment, right? I don't think having the sentiment that nothing will ever, like any asset will never pull back in a large way is healthy, right? I don't think that's safe. I don't think that's healthy. I'm not saying gold does pull back big. What I'm saying is like acting like it can never pull back big is the euphoria that they talk about when we're in bubbles, right? So just be careful. Be careful. And maybe gold benefits if we're in a bubble, but just be careful. Gold could certainly pull back big. I'm not saying it will, but you don't want to have that sentiment of like it could never pull back big. That's incredibly risky sentiment. And yeah, a lot of it's confirmation bias, I'm sure. Like people have all this different types of confirmation bias in finance, where and confirmation bias is just you're more likely to believe something you want to be true, right? Like I want to win the lottery every day for the next 5 days. I might overestimate the likelihood of that happening, you know, and go buy more lottery tickets. That's how they do it, right? And so in this situation, you might be wanting gold to go up. You might want crypto to go up. You might want markets to go up. You might think markets can never correct or whatever that is. Again, that is the euphoria we see sometimes before bubbles. And I think that's why a lot of people are speculating that we could be in a bubble. And again, I'm not saying we are. I really don't know. Just be careful. You know, they defined the 90s bubble as what was it? Was it irrational exuberance? Or was it Now, I like gold. Gold long-term generally moves up, just to go to the other end of it. And if you DCA long-term into it, you'll probably be fine. But with all that said, I'm not an investment professional. Do not copy me, you know. Might have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything. Don't copy me. I think AI bubble will burst before gold. You're probably right. I think too. Yeah, irrational exuberance. Alan Greenspan, the Federal Reserve chair at the time, famously used to describe the stock market mania leading up to the dot-com crash. His famous 96 speech was, quote, "How do we know when irrational exuberance has unduly escalated asset values, which then become subject to unexpected and prolonged contractions?" He wasn't saying a crash was imminent, but warning that human psychology can inflate bubbles far beyond fundamentals. It's not just gold. I don't think you should have the mindset that like nothing is ever going to pull back big. That makes me nervous more than anything else, because everything can pull back big. AI, crypto, stocks, gold, silver. Silver's been on a run though. If we take a look at silver, silver's getting pretty close to all-time highs again. If silver starts to get up to 49, I'm probably going to buy it. But I got to be careful because silver futures, they move. So I just got to be careful. Yeah, you're right, Matthew. This talk absolutely happens on every bull run, 100%. And so we might just keep going up. I'm not saying we don't keep going up. It's certainly possible that the market keeps moving up. 100% possible. We'll see. But currently we're in AI euphoria. Everybody investing in it and it's going up. AI needs semis. Semis need gold and silver. All these things are correlated. Expect gold and silver to drop once the bubble in AI bursts. Maybe. And I'm not really like the most active trader right now, just based off of all this stuff going on. I'm just not really trading the most actively. Minerals more likely to burst than AI. Maybe. And if this bull market is closer than people think, yeah, I mean, we are in October, but I think the shutdown is kind of boosting it a little bit. Russia's Putin on Nobel Prize for the president says he does a lot for peace. Again, we had Canadian unemployment come out better than expected, lower than expected, generally stronger for the labor market in Canada than expected. What do you think gold will go in short term? I don't know. Again, I'd rather be honest with you guys. Like yesterday before the Jerome Powell speech, I told you guys he probably wasn't saying anything about economics. You had a lot of people that were making it seem like it was going to be some huge economic speech. And again, I'd rather just be real with you guys and tell you guys the truth here. Gold short term, I don't know. NASDAQ pulling back pretty large here. Look at this. Look at the NASDAQ dip. Bank of Canada October rate cut chances fall to 57% from 72 before jobs data. Swap market shows. I don't think that's moving markets here. This looks catalyst driven, but I don't know. Look at this red candle showing up. I could buy this dip here. All right, I'll try it. I got to be careful in case it is catalyst driven. But we got a little cushion on the day. We can play with it. A 200 exponential dip here can sometimes be profitable. Let's give it a chance to bounce. NASDAQ's right at the VWAP and the 200 exponential here. If you guys can find some news out, let me know. I'm looking. I don't see anything outside of the Bank of Canada thing. There we go. A little bounce. Let's see if it holds. John, how has the shutdown affected your streaming? It's affected it a little bit, but not the most. We still got 30,000 plus views for the Fed Minutes Report. We still got thousands yesterday for Jerome Powell. And, you know, it'll be a little blip, but we'll be back to normal pretty soon. I hope. I mean, we still got 800 something people here right now, you know. So it's been insignificant so far, but I'm still waiting for the data to come back. I'd still love for them to get a deal done and at least get a CR passed and, you know. But again, I'll even admit that's kind of a selfish thing. Like, I just want the data to be back, you know. But shutdowns happen. It's interesting to cover. I mean, it gives us more content to cover, which is the shutdown now versus the data. So there's always something to cover in finance. You learn. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut this. Whoa, look at that bounce. I'm going to reduce my size to very small here. Just to limit risk. There we go. Hey, thank you, Weeze. Appreciate it, brother. Whoa. You'd love to see it. Here, I'm going to take profit right there. What a bounce. Yeah, that 200 exponential, man. Yeah, like I said, I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm just waiting to get this freaking brace and boot off of my foot. This thing is miserable. You never realize how much you like your knees before you can't use them. This thing's terrible, man. I hate it. I'm gonna rant about this thing for weeks. I promise. All right, so yeah, Bank of Canada October rate cut chances fell pretty significantly. Maybe that's moving things. Canada can sometimes mirror us, but to be honest, what it looks to me is that the Nasdaq's starting to trend down here. We got out just at the top up there too, though. That's good. That's good. You think AMD is... oh yeah, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, Russell, Gold. Most day traders lose money. I lost thousands. I tried day trading penny stocks in the beginning, lost thousands of dollars. I thought I was going to be like a rich guru savant. Everybody's going to be like, dang, look at John. Genius. I mean, that's what they think now anyway, you know. But don't lose $4,000 in 2 weeks like I did. It makes no sense to. Instead, try Top Step. You're probably going to lose regardless. Top Step's a lot cheaper in general. It's $50 a month for the base one. You fail, you lose $50. You pass it, you get to keep your first 10K and then 90% split in that funded account. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. Zero PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, Russell, Gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading equities. No PDT rule. Beautiful way to learn, and they pay out millions, fund thousands. I'll put the link up. You can check it out. I appreciate it. They're a sponsor. I'm biased. I get paid by them, so top 3 most biased ever. Look at the Nasdaq dip here, chat. Wow. Look at this dip. I'm gonna pin it to the top of the chat if you want to check it out. But look at this dip in the Nasdaq. Let's see 300 here. I'm gonna try to buy a 300 dip right here, but I gotta be careful. If the momentum's really strong, I'm gonna give it a second to bounce though. 300 psychological. There we go. There we go. I'll just hold the rest. Top 3 levels ever right there, guys. I'm gonna cut it right there. I think I got out just in time. I don't see any news that should be dragging the Nasdaq down here, though. I ran into these levels right here. Yeah, like I always try to explain, like the levels, it's not always going to act perfectly, but a lot of the time it'll come back down to the level, rebound back up, and then go back down. This is why I never target the second test of it, like the retest, because the retest is much less reliable. So if it bounces at the level and then retests it within 5 minutes or so, I'm not messing with that at all. You know? You think drop before the open and then rally? Maybe. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia's falling down a little bit right now. Rejected at the 194 high level. Remember, we drew this level earlier too. I mean, it's just the high. But. And then we're bouncing at this level now. I mean, yeah, it's possible it's a fake out. I really don't know what we're doing. Nobody knows what we're doing short term. I can only speculate on it and try to find levels to watch. All right, Nasdaq still flushing down here. Again, I really don't see any news. Yeah, all good, pawn. Yeah, now we're consolidating, but it looks like we're turning. 275 I have as a level underneath all this stuff, but it's a pretty ways down. Still trying to hold right here. Remember, guys, I think Monday we're still open for finance, right? Like Monday is, I don't remember what day Monday is, but it's some type of holiday. Took some profits on silver. Yeah, Nvidia looks like it wants to bounce back up, but this is a pretty big red action. Gold now just broke under $4,000 an ounce for gold. So gold now under 4K. It's Columbus Day. Banks are closed. I think the market's open still. All right, look at this bounce back up. We're starting to rebound a little bit. We got about 40 minutes until the market opens, so gold still breaking down under 4,000 right now. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the 1 minute chart because it's the most recent data. I know it sold off more than this morning, but this is the biggest. I mean, I didn't start my stream. This is the biggest sell-off we've seen this morning, so I'm covering it like it is, you know. I'm not saying there hasn't been larger pullbacks. I'm just looking at the pullback that's happening. It's a big pullback as well, but I don't see any catalyst. Putin out speaking about scary stuff. All right, we're over 300 again. Let's see if it acts as short-term support, but gold now under 4,000. Nvidia is bouncing back up a little bit. We got this level too. Watch 295s now. All right, now we're breaking back down. Looks like we're going to crack the low of the last few hours here. Maybe, maybe not. Gold retesting 4,000. I don't think I've shorted gold once. Is it time to short gold here, guys? I might try. A risky endeavor, though. Just tapped 4,000. Look at this. Consolidation happening right now. All right, we're trying shorting gold a little bit short term in futures just because it's under 4,000. Very small. See if it breaks down a little bit more here. There we go. Yeah, I mean, we get clean over 4K again. I'm just going to cut it. We're going to be mostly flat on the day if we do. Lesson learned. Maybe I shouldn't short gold. I still think it might come back down, but psychological levels here. The longer it stays over it, the less I trust it. It's small, but... Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there. Also, Columbus, he sailed the Ocean Blue 1492. That's all you're going to get from me. I ain't going into any of that. Canadian red folder usually is not very significant, to be honest. So, Canadian red folders usually, not the biggest. I'll put the NASDAQ back up here. Gold still ripping up. Let's see if it pulls back now. All right, NASDAQ looks like it is completely sideways. Still battling at 25.3 level here. I'm gonna switch and put on a different account here. Gold hitting that 2000 exponential. Even gold follows that 200 EMA. Look at that right there. As that come back down. Copper? Yeah, Friday. Yeah, I'm not going to get on the controversial stuff. Yeah, we got the Michigan data. We'll see what the Michigan data shows us. You know? Apply digital after earnings? Yeah, I'm not doing that, man. Again, I'm the type where I like buying up big pullbacks. I don't really like buying up super extended or shorting super extended runs from earnings, because runs can just, they can keep running. That's the greatest quote ever. Runs can keep running, just to clarify. But what happened? I mean, nothing really. Gold consolidating around 4,000. NASDAQ breaking lows of the last few hours just now, down to 291s here for the NQ. Most things are just sideways. Look at the NASDAQ flush. Still breaking down. All right, gold coming back down to maybe 4,000 here. Let's see if it hits. Not almost there. Flush got me back to green. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the market to open in about 30 minutes here. Again, you guys red or green today. Should I do another poll? We did a poll. When will the shutdown end? 55% think less than 20 days. For those that voted on 55%, on that 55% less than 20 days, what's your argument for the government shutdown ending in 10 days or less? I'd love to hear it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I hope you're right. You know, I think you could also, the argument I would have is the military pay aspect. Deadline is the 15th, and so I think they want to get it done before then. I don't know if they're going to, though. Up cap. Green. Yeah, with double C over there, you know, the world was in a conquest culture back then. The whole world was, mostly. So I can't judge him too harshly, but he was also kind of a jerk in some aspects as well. Right? And so that's all I'm going to really get into there. I don't think I need to get in deeper in that. Buy every dip? What could go wrong? Yeah, I saw that, Mopar. A little too controversial for me to get into that, but yeah. All right, NASDAQ bouncing back up a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Green on every time frame. Do you think the market's going to crash under the shutdown, though? I don't necessarily think so. Next week's calendar of events. What we got next week? We had Powell yesterday. We got Moran next Wednesday. We got Governor Waller on artificial intelligence at the DC FinTech Week on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Oh, dang, bro. We got another monetary. Okay. I just realized this. So Powell is going to speak again on monetary policy and economic outlook next Tuesday, the 14th. It's going to be at 12:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be on the 14th. He's going to be speaking at the National Association for Business Economics, NABE, annual meeting in Philly, PA. Economic outlook and monetary policy is what he's speaking about. So we got some stuff going on. Look at the NASDAQ ramp up here. Is there any news for this? No. Look at gold dump down back under 4,000. Should have kept shorting it. I think we're kind of sideways right now, though. But yeah. Again, we got 20 minutes left. Yeah, it kind of is like a Christmas rally. No, we got Michigan consumer sentiment today, but everybody knows the Michigan data has been wildly inaccurate. How's the knee? I don't really know. I can't move it. They got me in a brace that doesn't let me move my legs under 60 degrees. Like under a 60-degree contraction. Gold and the NASDAQ moving opposite to each other. Now, gold breaking down, NASDAQ moving up. Christmas rally vibes? Yeah, kind of. We got the Michigan consumer sentiment data in less than an hour. Will we get good Michigan data? I don't know. They also give out inflation expectations. Yeah, both sides are digging their heels in, man. Realistically, NASDAQ still ramping back up. Over the 200 exponential now. Getting a push here. Heading closer to the opening bell. Let's see what we get. Yeah, Kalshi getting big valuations. I think they got a $5 billion valuation, $300 million investment. So a lot of people are skeptical of DraftKings and other companies like this because of the dynamic of Kalshi and others playing on them. DraftKings down again on that news about Kalshi and the others. Like, look at this. Again, the logic of this is that people are going to use DraftKings less if they got more diverse options. And I can't really argue against that logic. I think that logic is probably pretty accurate. I think DraftKings is kind of losing some steam as well. You know? I think DraftKings is kind of losing some steam. Yeah, I mean, there's board. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Yeah, gold and silver dropping right now is what's going on. They're all in trends, though. I mean, a lot of these are up big. Gold is the big one that dropped. Gold now under 4,000 an ounce right now. 3,997 for gold. Yeah, I've never been a big sports bettor. I'm just not really that interested. The variance in sports is too high. Especially like baseball. I love baseball. But the variance per game, ridiculous. No edge. You know? Like, if there is an edge, it's super slight, and you got to beat mathematicians for it. I'm okay on that, you know. And then you got all these like jerks selling out sports betting picks. Like, even with the NFL, you know how much variance is in the NFL? College is more predictable than the NFL is, but neither one of them have like a good statistical edge in betting, and so it just doesn't make sense to do so. I get it. Look, I'm not against putting a little bit down to make the game more interesting, right? I love MMA, and sometimes I do that with MMA, right? With UFC fights and all that stuff. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, Kalshi, they're betting on the government shutdown over there too. Again, at this point, I talked about it this morning, 62% price in at least 20 days of government shutdown. So, yeah, I mean, my logic is like, I'll put a little bit on a fight, and then even if I lose the bet, if it's an exciting finish, I'm okay with it, you know? What 7 a.m. news? We got 10 a.m. news coming out. And MMA, it's as easy as, except for the Alex Pereira fight, Dagestan, you know, bet on Dagestan. And forget, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about Pacific time. I know Eastern time, market time, 10 a.m. market time, Michigan consumer sentiment. That's what I know. It's expected at today, 54.1 is prelim data. So 54.1 expectation, 55.1 last time. 1 year inflation expectations showed 4.7% last time. 5 year showed 3.7% last time. So, yeah, I'm in Central Time, but I go with market time really. Like with I've been following the stock market, so I usually just go with market time. Yeah, I'm not against fantasy stuff. I do a little bit of it, not a ton. But the total amount of gold owned by ETFs is linked to physical gold is up 225 billion. They doubled over the past few years, driven by investor inflows. Before 2020, gold holdings were 4.5 times less at 50 billion. Gold to 6,000 by next spring? I don't know, man. Maybe. It's possible for sure with all the crazy runs we've seen on it. Right, exactly. Like, it's what I try to tell people about it. Like, people get wrapped up in it because they want to believe it's the real people that make money at it. Do it like trading. Like, they look at arbitrage, they find small slivers of edge, and they take a bunch of bets. High volumes, low edge is what the name of that is. Like, is the game of that, right? And if you're good enough, they'll boot you off the platform anyway. And so the people out there selling calls for $500, like, don't be dumb, guys. Don't fall for that. It's dumb. The variance is so high, you know, that it's just useless. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that one, Femi. That's a okay market. Do y'all think gold will hit 6,000 by next spring? That's basically a year and it's a little bit less than a year away. I know. I think markets might want 4,000 on gold or 5,000 on gold. Gold now back over 4,000. Nasdaq right at the 200 exponential. We got 20 minutes until the market opens. Next year for gold, 5,000 maybe, man. We'll see. The Giants, I know. What a freak occurrence, A1. That's wild. Or Jalen Hurts, man. He just got beat by the Giants. I mean, I'm a Saints fan, so I can't really say anything. This season especially, you know. But man, you got beat by the Giants, bro. Eagles are still 4-2 though. They still got a shot. They're still at the top. I wish the Commanders were doing better. I'm for the Commanders just because they have Jaden, but I'm not really a Spencer Rattler fan, especially with how he's done. You know, I thought he was overhyped. I wanted him to do good because I've seen him in the documentary and stuff about his high school stuff, but I wanted him to do well just because he's the quarterback we got. But I wasn't confident. Last year, he didn't really perform great. I wasn't really expecting him to do well this year either. And unfortunately, that's right. Saints are 0-4 right now. We need a quarterback. We got Flacco now, right? Yeah. Or no, y'all. The Bengals have Flacco, sorry. Burrow is a little fragile right now. He's been getting hurt every year. All right, guys, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Again, we do have Michigan consumer sentiment data dropping. We will see what that data shows us today. I don't know why they don't play Taysom, man. Taysom was good. He's fast. He's big. He can run the ball. The fear of running the ball makes him, you know, better than we got right now. I don't know why they never played Taysom like that. They must know something we don't about Taysom, but yeah. All right, gold over 4,000. Looks like we're going to open over 4,000, but we've been going back and forth for gold. If you look at it for the last hour, gold has been going down under 4,000, back up to 4,005, back down to 95, back up to 05. And so gold has been in a sideways range for the last hour or two right now. Traders are watching 4,000, but gold really hasn't been holding over and under it for very long. It's been in a $10 range from 95 up to 05 right here. And it's just been kind of going back and forth for gold. We'll see what happens, but that's been gold's range right now. We got roughly 15 minutes left. But NASDAQ is kind of slowed too. Look at the NASDAQ range here. Very small over the last 15 minutes or so as well. Not really doing much. Watching AMD, Silver, Nvidia. But it is Friday, guys, so y'all just be careful. Nvidia has the chance to break all-time highs if it runs at the open. Y'all think we're in an AI bubble? Everybody busy taking profit? Maybe. I hate this brace. All right, NASDAQ's untradeable right now. Friday range. Gold's a little bit better. We'll watch gold. What's the S&P looking like? I'm assuming the S&P's like this too. Yeah, I see Applied Digital rip up. CoreWeave deal for them. Yeah, E-minis in an untradeable range as well, barcoding. Yeah, a lot of people argued about quantum bubble, AI bubble, mineral bubble. I don't know which one we're in. Which one do you guys think the biggest bubble is right now in markets? AI, quantum, minerals. What do you guys think? Gold at least has a reasonable range to attack here, though. Like gold, the range is not tiny. You know, even though the spread's a little bit worse on gold when you try to day trade it or short-term trade it. But this is just barcoding. We have just nothing that we can really do right there for the NASDAQ. We're getting closer to the bell, though, but... Oh, or real estate. Yeah, you might think. People think every stock is MP. Most AI crypto coins are pumping. Gold sideways too. None of the above. AI, real estate, AI. Speculation in general, maybe. All right, NASDAQ broke under that range here. Is Fuzzy Panda a new short report firm? Because I see this thing that says Fuzzy Panda says to short Arcat Holdings. I don't know when they said this. Let me see. Yeah, they said this 10 minutes ago. And 10 minutes ago, Arcat Holdings dumped. The people are watching Fuzzy Panda here. Must be another short report. Hindenburg famously retired. I guess a bunch of other new names are popping up. AI bubble? Serious question though, from what I see, AI is the thing that keeps moving the market right now. I can't make up my mind. I'm skeptical. Yeah, I mean, money's flowing into it. People are betting on the future of it. The question is it in a bubble right now? Again, bubble defined as irrational exuberance, euphoria, high PE ratios. A lot of people would say we got that right now, at least high PE ratios, and hype, unrelenting hype. So we'll see. Well, you know, it's possible. I'm not saying we are. Sometimes we just keep running. I don't know what gold's going to do. It's pretty high. It's been making moves. It's over 4,000. I think that's a good sign for it, but I really have no idea what it's going to do. You don't think we have euphoria? I don't know. All right, guys, 11 minutes until the market opens. Let's see what we get. We got the Michigan data. In Fitch ratings, they said we have a rise in U.S. CMBS delinquency rates fueled by office defaults in September. So Fitch, they said overall U.S. CMBS delinquency rate increased 10 basis points to 3.1% in September from 3% in August. Higher volume of new office delinquencies and slowdown in resolution. 60-plus day delinquency volumes totaled $2.05 billion in September compared to $1.69 in August. More cuts coming? Yeah, for sure. Software coming? Yeah, no, I agree. Rate cut cycle, AI fueling crypto legalization. Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're seeing a lot of that right now, and money's flowing. NVIDIA, AMD still undervalued. Euphoria in the markets is quantum, and all the garbage companies who make no money. Yeah, I mean, right now, Rigetti, unprofitable. D-Wave, unprofitable. QUBT, unprofitable. And IONQ, unprofitable in quantum. Also, Morgan Stanley removed restrictions on which wealth clients can hold crypto funds via CNBC. Yeah, so Palantir 440 billion market cap. It's either negative or near zero usually with earnings. Path, which is robotic process automation, RPA, currently valued at about $9.8 billion. It's negative for earnings. It's negative for margins. Aurora Innovation, which is self-driving AI, AUR, 10 billion market cap. It's negative. Sentinel-1, AI-powered cybersecurity, 6 billion market cap. It's negative. SoundHound AI is negative. C3 AI is negative. IONQ, which is quantum. Rigetti Quantum. D-Wave Quantum, all negative. OpenAI is probably the most profitable one, though. Or it's probably the most talked about one. It's a private company. But, highly unprofitable due to investment costs. It's burned through billions. All right, look at this 300 level again on the NASDAQ. We just tapped it. Top 3 level ever right there. Yeah. Legislation we need to pass by October 13th for true paychecks. Yeah. We'll see. All right, NASDAQ still flushing down. Gold moving up. Maybe we're seeing a little counter trend in gold in the NASDAQ, which is something that we haven't really seen much of. It is Friday, guys, so y'all just be careful, man. Morgan Stanley broadening access to crypto funds. Like I said, they remove restrictions on which wealth clients can hold crypto funds. AMD dipping down a little bit with everything. Look at AMD on the bottom right here. It's moving down. I mean, I think AI is a powerful technology. It's not like I think AI is not useful. I think AI is going to ingrain itself into everything we have, technologically speaking. But with that said, I mean, it doesn't mean we're not in a bubble. It doesn't mean we are either. I think AI is just that next big technological revolution, and I think we've seen that a lot. I think every small period of time, we get some big bursts in technology. You know, you got the car, the radio, the television, you got the internet, you got computers in the early 80s, you got, you know, the internet in the 90s and computers in the 90s, you got more of that in the 2000s, cell phones, smartphones in the 2000s, you know. And now we're on the AI phase, and the question is just, do valuations catch up? And a lot of people think they will, you know. So I'm not saying we are in a bubble, but that's the fear right now. Generally speaking, most people don't think we're in a bubble before it bursts. So yeah, again, I've said it many times. I think the next step is they're going to start implanting AI into robotics. And it's going to, you know, combine into a big thing pulling in a lot of money. Question is when that's going to be and when they're going to do that effectively. And I really don't know. All right, guys, 5 minutes into the opening bell. We will see what we get. NASDAQ's been breaking down over the last 10, but we've kind of been back and forth. Gold back over 4,010. Let's see what AMD and NVIDIA do today. I think they're leading the market in this context. Yeah, Lehman Bros failed in 08 or 09. Bear Stearns as well. Oh, sorry, I bumped my mic. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, I mean, Quantum's still super unstable right now. But the potential is huge, and that's where the money's flowing in. Bull or bear for the opening bell, guys? We got 3 minutes, less than that. Again, Michigan consumer sentiment data dropping 10 a.m. or 10 p. Yeah, 10 a.m. Nvidia back up. Bull, bear, bull. Bull at first might run up all day, and then we'll see. Bull got some targets long. We got some data today. It's not the big data that I want, but it'll do, you know. All right, look at AMD bounce. Might be dragging the NASDAQ back up. Look at AMD up to 233s right now for AMD. AMD up to 230s. All right, guys, we got about a minute left until the market opens, about 1 minute. We got Michigan data at 10 a.m. as well. You think Tuesday's a big day? I think Jerome Powell speaks Tuesday, I think, next week on Economic Outlook. And I think that's relevant right now, especially with everything closed. No data, you know. All right, guys, 50 seconds. Again, hit the like button next to the play button. Make sure you subscribe. We appreciate it. AMD up to 233s. Gold up to 4,010 ahead of the opening bell. Nvidia sitting at 193. Still pretty close to all-time highs, though, which are right here at 195.30. NASDAQ's been pretty flat, but it's starting to move a little bit more here. Look at this run up ahead of the opening bell for the NQ. Again, hit the like button next to the play button. Put it in subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, I mean. And let's see what the opening bell brings on this Friday here, guys. It is Friday. Y'all be careful. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up. All right, there's the bell. NASDAQ's green ahead of the open. Let's see what happens now. Watch AMD and Nvidia to maybe get an initial look here. NASDAQ coming down some. Nvidia dropping down to 192s. AMD's pushing up though, but a big red candle on Nvidia here. Let's see if it holds. It's still the opening bell, so we still got a little time. AMD starting to head down too here. NASDAQ just ripped back up though. I gotta wait a couple minutes to trade. NASDAQ green. Back up here today. All-time highs are up there at 94. 394. I'm looking at 350 up here. AMD started to bounce back. Big green coming in. AMD breaking up. Where's all-time highs on AMD? They're close to where we're at now. $244 all-time highs on AMD. Watch 350 up here. Big pop on the NASDAQ. Google breaking highs of the opening bell. Maybe highs of the day for Google up there. Google's still running up to 243s right now, so we are seeing some strength in tech. My music stop? Dude. Nvidia breaking lows down again here. I almost want to buy this, the NASDAQ, see if it moves up to test 350, but it's risky right here for sure. I'll try it. Pretty close to the bell, but I'll play around a little bit on risk. We'll add a little bit to it, take some risk here. Range is still small, so we could take a risk. I'll reduce my size a little bit here just to protect it. I cut this. This is too big of a pullback. Didn't quite get to 350. I wanted it, but that's all right. Pretty small. We lost like $30. Gold pumping up though. The gold looks good. Yeah, the music, you should be able to hear the music now, right? It's Friday, so we might range. If anything, today might be the day 2 range trade. We got a little gold trade here. Let me put it up. This one's in a challenge account, by the way, just to transparency purposes. We can add to it. We can take a little bit more risk because of that. I'm looking for chop. There we go. Might add on a bounce here. Again, challenge account, so we can take more risk and play around with this. There we go. Take half off there. Leave the rest, maybe. I'll reduce my size a little bit, protect it. Yeah, look at Applied Digital. Yeah, today's probably going to be rough. I mean, I don't know. You never know. All right, again, it's a challenge account. I'm going to see if we get a liquidity grab up here for gold is what I want. It is Friday. There's a liquidity grab, but it kind of dipped fast, so I got to cut it, some of it. There we go. That's better. We got the liquidity grab, which is good. We're going to cut it right there. NASDAQ moving back up. Again, Google flying up today at 244s. Yeah, remember, we got the Michigan consumer sentiment data in 22 minutes. We'll get this ready. Look at the NASDAQ, guys. Wow. And this is when AMD and NVIDIA aren't really doing that great, but the NASDAQ back up. Again, driven by Google a lot this morning. Is oil really under? Well, not anymore. I mean, not oil futures. Yeah, oil back up over 60s. It tapped 59.50s, but ripped back up pretty quickly. Bitcoin up a little bit since the opening bell. Gold pretty flat right now. Shorting gold again just because I think gold might chop, but maybe it's a risk. We're green since the bell, though. Yeah, quantum stocks down since the open. There we go. Yeah, all good, pawn. The NASDAQ easier money today is the question. Google pulling back a little bit now. Again, AMD testing the lows of the day, 230s. Did my music stop again, dude? Yeah, we got 18 minutes. Let me put the timer up. I'll put the expectations for everything at the bottom. We got Michigan consumer sentiment data. All right, consumer sentiment today is expected at 51 or 54.1 for prelim data. And I can't type right now. Previous one was 55.1. Nasdaq's pulling back. I almost want to buy this 350 level here. I think I might have missed 350 though. Yeah, will the government shutdown end next week? Chat, let me know. I have no idea. I hope it does. Nasdaq flat the last 5 minutes. Maybe it's waiting for the Michigan data. I don't think it is. But you never know, maybe. AMD breaking down. Nvidia bouncing up a little bit, but the Nasdaq is stagnant here. Look at this. Gold coming down to 4,009. Nasdaq just tapped that top level again here. Google testing highs, Nvidia bouncing back. AMD giving some back though today. The Nasdaq's ripping up again. Gold is not really following it though like it has been for the last few days. Data is in about 15 minutes. Yeah, market's open Monday. It's just Columbus Day. Nasdaq pumping up here. Must be Apple too. Yeah, Apple pumping up. Meta's flat. Amazon's ripping up as well. You guys red or green so far? I'm green to the open, but not much. Oh, dude, I accidentally just clicked on one of my other accounts. I wanted to buy it right here at 75, which is right here. I accidentally clicked short. Dumb mistake here. Major global banks collaborating on plans to launch joint stablecoin initiatives, which is Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche, BNP, Santander, Barclays, TD Bank, and more. Citigroup, UBS, and more. Yeah, my fault. All right, now we're flat for 4 minutes now. Yeah, but he sailed the ocean blue, Ryan. All right, guys. AMD down at 228s. I'm just joking, guys. Just joking. He's a controversial figure nowadays, man. Gold all the way down to 4,000. Are you buying the dip right here? Bro, I gotta trust my algorithms more, dude. Look at this last run, man. Look at that. I gotta trust these more. Look at that little guy right here. Literally the bottom. And I'm not gonna say, but look at that. I gotta trust my algorithm more during market hours. All right, guys. Michigan consumer sentiment 10 minutes. Let me put a timer up just to make it more fun. Ugh. All right. Look at that breakdown. Algorithm called it. Look at that. At the top. I really do gotta trust this thing more. Gold now under $4,000 an ounce here. Under 4K. All right, so the president's going to discuss drug prices and a new pharmaceutical deal at 5 p.m. according to on CBS today, apparently. Yeah, let's just check out my algorithm here. I'm not trying to brag here, but look at this, okay? Let's look at it. Oh wait. This one caught it. I'm seeing the screen. Look at that one. This one called the bottom. This one called the top. This one called the top. This one called the bottom. Let's keep going. This one called the bottom. This one called at least somewhat of a bottom here. So did that one. So did that one. So did that one. This, don't worry about this little guy. He was wrong there, but that's okay. This one called the top of this range. We ended up breaking down to around here. So did this one. This one's a little bit ambiguous. A little bit ambiguous. This one called the top. This one called the bottom there. This one called the bottom. Top. Bottom. Bottom. This little guy didn't work. This little guy didn't work. This one didn't work either. But these two definitely worked. This guy worked right here too. But I didn't really tally those up, but that's pretty freaking accurate for this algorithm. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I'm not trying to brag. I'm honestly excited to see the algorithm do so well, you know. Top 3 braggers ever, but, you know. Yeah. Honestly, that's where I got the quote from, with Super Troopers. All right, guys, 350. Let's see if we hold here. 350. AMD starting to bounce. NVIDIA starting to bounce. Google very strong in the day. Gold under 4,000 right now. We got Michigan data in 7 minutes here. Littering and... What kind of portfolio, Matthew? An investment portfolio? Better than the market? Is a good return, but I would say 10%, 8%, 9% on average, long term. Gold at 3997s. Because it's the only data we get, X. Why is Michigan data important? Because it's the only data we get here today, bro. We don't get any other data today, man. Again, it gives out inflation expectations as well. We will see what they show. But, yeah. All right, so yeah, we got 5-year inflation expectations, 1-year inflation expectations, consumer sentiment. Let's see what we get today. It's expected at 54.1. Expectations 51.7. Current conditions 60. Yeah, next week's inflation data is getting released, but it's probably not going to be next week. So we'll get CPI data, they say, but I think it's going to be towards the end of the month so the Fed can make a decision. Or at least the Federal Reserve's getting it. I don't know if it's going to be released Wednesday. I don't think it is. It might be, though. I hope it is. I hope I'm wrong here, but what I heard, the rumblings I heard was that CPI is getting released. It's just not getting released on time. Like, they just reversed the people who are going to compile it back. So who knows how long that'll take, but it's probably getting released, which is good. The Fed's not going to be completely blind from inflation data like CPI. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. All right, still getting back up to 350s. NVIDIA bouncing back. AMD's low. Gold under 4,000 here, guys. All right, guys, 3 minutes. Yeah, last time 3.7 for 5-year and 4.7. Look at NVIDIA back up to 194. So NVIDIA all-time highs are at 195.30. NVIDIA's getting closer to that number here. It's still not over 194s. We'll see what it does. AMD looks like it wants to bounce here, though. All right, guys. 2 minutes. Tapping 350. Top is not yet here. NVIDIA up to 194.20. It's getting very close. So you see this light green line right here is the all-time high for NVIDIA. All right, guys, hit the live button next to the play button, put it in 2x speed. We'll cover the Michigan data. I don't know how accurate this data is. I don't think it's very accurate, personally. But we're covering it nonetheless here. We're here to cover it. It's something. Next week, hopefully they end the shutdown. All right, guys, 50 seconds. Let's see if it affects the market. I'm curious. I don't know if it will, but I'm curious if it will. President also said that the 5 p.m. Oval Office event is on lowering drug costs on CBS. All right, guys, here we go. 20 seconds. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. All right, here's the data right here. All right, consumer sentiment showed up at 55. Consumer sentiment 55 versus expected 54.1. Current consumer expectations lower than expected at 51.2 versus 51.7 expected. Inflation expectations aren't here. Let me see. Yeah, the inflation expectations aren't out. Weird. Yeah, I don't see the inflation expectations. Again, so consumer sentiment was strong, 55 versus 54.1. Consumer expectations, 51.2. We didn't really react to it. I don't even see the inflation expectations as well. Oh, 4.6% 1 year, 3.7%. So they reduced the 1 year down slightly from 4.7. But still kind of wild numbers here. All right, guys. Again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. No PDT rule on futures, day trading the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, currencies in some places. No PDT rule. You can day trade S&P, NASDAQ, commodities, very similar to day trading stocks. Get you around the PDT rule. $50 a month for the base one. Maybe it is dropping markets like this. Look at this. It's $50 for the base one. No PDT rule. Great way to learn when most day traders lose money. And so they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. I get paid by them, but genuinely useful for traders, in my opinion. Lets you learn how to trade with less risk without the burn. And so if you want to try it out, I'll put the link up. I appreciate the support. Here's the link right here. They have their back to funded option now. 0 commission on TopStep X. Lets you reset funded accounts, get the same rules as previous accounts, and it's useful. There's the link right there. NASDAQ flushing down here. Gold at 39.90s here. NASDAQ still breaking down. We're at 25.2 or 25.325 right now on the NASDAQ. Right at the 200 exponential. Might buy a dip right here. Let me wait and see. Oh, right here. Yeah, we bought a dip. We're up 25 ticks here. I'm going to take some of this off. I'm going to take most of that off right now. Locked it in. Got to bounce right at the 200 exponential. We just got a really nice pullback to it. Gold is pushing back up to test 4,000 here. Your trading brings us to the channel. Your music kicks us away. The music's so divisive here. Some people are like, hey, bro, I need that playlist. Give me your playlist. Others are like, I hate it forever. Your music. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I'm sorry. Honestly, this is an old playlist. I built this years ago, and I just kind of let it go. Some of the music's good, you know? Do you like the music or dislike the music? We should probably do a poll on that. Good or bad music, guys? Let me know. Good or bad? Put good or bad in chat right now. Again, give me a follow on x.com at Beginner Trades. We cover all this stuff live. So you can give me a follow. If you want to help support the channel at Beginner Trades, we appreciate it. So divisive, bro. It's nice, good music, classic, perfect, chill, good. I like it. We like it. Love your music. Charlie Brown Christmas CD classic. Bad, bad, good, good. I would say it's probably 80-20 percentage ratio that people like the music. So I'm sorry, those who do, the 20% that don't like the music, listen. I'd like to take this time to apologize to nobody here. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Don't insult my music like that, okay? Chat shows up and supports it. We appreciate it. It's acceptable? Okay. Fair. Hey, listen, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. But I gotta go. All right? My foot hurts. Okay? My foot hurts. I'm gonna go lay down this weekend and, probably play Halo and not do anything since I can't go anywhere without everybody looking at me being like, dang, dude, what happened to that dude's leg? So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. I will be on Top Step TV later on today at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, Top Step TV. I'll be there. Y'all be good, guys. Y'all be good. Yields are down a little bit, actually. Under 4.1%. Yields have mostly been dropping on morning, showing a lower interest rate sentiment. Yeah, Battlefield 6. I might check that out, honestly. I don't have anything else to do. I should be a pirate for Halloween. Honestly, that's the best idea you've ever had here. You know, and you've got some bad ideas. No, I'm just joking. I don't really know what kind of ideas you have. But hey, I'll see you guys later. As soon as I close this stream, it's going to immediately bring you to Monday's stream. And again, I expect you to wait all weekend at your computer. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Hey, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to go lay down, try to lay down in this leg. And, yeah, have a great day. See you guys.